And it is the season of giving. It is also the season right now for shopping. So staying with that, let's talk about gifts. What is it that your loved one or child really wants? Or are we all just chasing more? We're bringing in David Delisle. He is a family finance expert and author. He also founded the Awesome Stuff movement. Welcome, David. Good to see you. You say that shared experiences outweigh tangibles when it comes to Christmas gifts. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Christmas is one of my favorite holidays and this time of year. But when I think back to like my fondest memories, it's doing stuff with, my grandparents, and I watch my parents have all their friends around. And it really wasn't the gifts. It was sort of that family atmosphere and be able to spend time and laugh and play games. That's really what my memories were, which made me realize it really isn't the gifts that most of us think fondly on when we think about the holidays.
That is so true. I cannot remember what I got as a child, but I can remember that we spent time as a family. So can you also tell me more about the Awesome Stuff movement that I just mentioned previously, and what inspired you to start that?
Yeah, it was just this idea of basically more mindful consumerism, because what I find is most of us are just like buying and buying and buying and chasing. And this is a good time of year where we notice that, where we're buying for the sake of buying, but not really being mindful of what's really important. So the Awesome Stuff movement's all about just simply asking the question before you make a purchase, is this my awesome stuff? And instead of like wants versus needs, where it's a little bit more specific, this is just something that like, what brings you joy? What brings you excitement? And if it isn't doing that, maybe find something else that is. And then as you continue to do this, you'll notice that that awesome stuff changes. So back to our earlier conversation, it might have been that toy, and then you start thinking, no, actually, it was that sleigh ride with my parents. And then it just starts, increasing towards those things that bring you the most joy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me more about this kind of maybe exercise, let's call it, because in terms of what to categorize as actual awesome stuff. Somebody might look at something and say, hey, that's what I want right now. That looks awesome. I want that. But how do you actually get to the bottom of it, basically?
Yeah, well, I get this question a lot, and people want like an immediate answer. And the beauty of this is it's not immediate answers. It's more of a journey, like mindfulness in general. So what'll happen is you'll just start noticing, what are your best memories? What are the things that you remember the most? What brings you the most joy? What makes you laugh? What makes you get excited? And that becomes your benchmark. And then once you discover something that you love even more, that benchmark just moves. And so what you'll start to see is, like with my boys, for example, they might have wanted a new video game, but then when I sort of prompted them, would you rather have a big party with all your friends and invite them and have treats and do this big celebration? Would you rather that or the game? And all of a sudden for them, that game just became less important. And that was for them. I mean, some other people would be like, no, I don't like parties. I don't want to do that. I want the game. And it really isn't about, what is the right thing. It's what's the right thing for you and what makes you the happiest.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also very interesting how, as an adult, you have made those experiences, and maybe you just need to help your kids to get to that conclusion and find out for themselves. Now, tell me more about, those gift ideas. If it's not, let's say kids maybe have a wish list, but it might not be what is on that list. So you just mentioned party, but give me a couple more ideas.
Well, all those things where you do those fun gatherings, or just like you said, you remember those memories. There's so much stuff happening during the holidays. So it could be horse-drawn carriages. It could be hot cocoa. It could be going to see Christmas lights. It could be caroling. Any of these things that's the beauty of this, is it sounds a bit out of the box, but almost all of us know the things that we love to do, what our kids love, what we love to do as a family, and where our best memories come from. So just encouraging more of that, and you'll start to see it. And same with friends as well. Like, instead of getting them the Starbucks gift card, take them out for coffee and spend a morning with them. I mean, it's going to be much more impactful.
Right. And it's kind of a mentality change, right? I imagine it's a really tough muscle to train or maybe develop, because nowadays, and we live in New York City, where every corner is kind of plastered with a billboard, and it feels like they're all there with the goal of constantly convincing convincing us that we do not have enough and that we do need more.
Yeah, well, and that's, I mean, you asked earlier about the awesome stuff. This is why this movement's so important to me, is because that's what's become common. It's just been pure consumerism, and you don't have enough and you should have more. And this just really shifts it a bit more to gratitude, because you're just mindful. And like, I challenge people, just do it for 7 days. For 7 days, especially during the holidays, ask, is this my awesome stuff? Is this my kids' awesome stuff? Is this our family's awesome stuff? When you're thinking about these purchases. And if you just pause for, five seconds even, just to reflect, you'll be surprised to start to notice, maybe this isn't what brings me the most joy, because what I really want to be doing during the holidays is not being in a mall. I want to be, sitting with the family around, a table with a puzzle or a charcuterie plate and snacking on treats. And once you start realizing that, those things that that you'll notice passing by that are being trying to be marketed towards you, they're not important anymore, because you want to get back home to the things that are your awesome stuff.
Yeah, just quickly, in a couple last seconds that we still have, what would you say to parents that are a little bit nervous about just bypassing the kids' wish list, let's say, to disappoint them by not gifting them what they had on this list?
Just have the conversation with your kids and just pose the question. Like, that's what I did. I didn't just jump on my kids and say, we're doing 0 Christmas gifts this year and you're having a Christmas party. I posed it to them as, hey, do you want a bunch of gifts like we typically do? Or instead of that, would you rather have all your friends over? We create this big thing. You send out the invite. We decorate the house and have an afternoon of fun with your friends. And that's it.
Okay, well, I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's great food for thought, to be honest with you. So thank you so much, David Delisle. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you so much. Have a great morning.